Hello and welcome to the Last Minute Laura Show. It's the afternoon stitch along. There we go. Let's go. Hi everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Last Minute Laura Afternoon Show. I'm Laura, for those of you that don't know. In the afternoons we get together from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we do some crafting. So this week what we're working on is a little bit of embroidery. I have a picture that we drew out yesterday. We designed it together. Had a little bit of an issue with how complicated the design was when transferring it to paper, so I kind of changed my mind a little bit. I changed it back to what people were suggesting in terms of the LML instead of me doing a little anniversary thing. For me and Alex, I'm doing a little last minute Laura thing. So that is the plan. I also transferred the stitches that we learned yesterday onto a different piece of canvas so that when I'm doing the new stitches that I'm going to teach today, it'll all be pretty and it'll all be on one nice cohesive thing. So before I get started, I just want to remind you, if you haven't clicked like yet, please do click like. It really helps the channel. I really do appreciate it every single time you do. And if you like a video, like every video. It's awesome. It's very good for the channel. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe because we get together 2 times every day during this quarantine. We're doing 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern in the morning when we get together and we just get our day started. We have some tea. I am sipping on some peppermint tea right now. And in the afternoon, we get together to do crafty stuff. We've done lots of stuff already. This week, we're going back to embroidery, but we're slowing down a little bit, and we're going to be doing some nice tutorials mixed right in there. So what we've covered so far, before I greet everyone, I see you guys all chatting in the chat already. Before I jump in there, I just want to go over what we did yesterday. We learned the running stitch, backstitch. We've done split backstitch in other things, as well stem stitch, blanket stitch, and we did French knot. Today we're going to cover long and short stitch, satin stitch, which is very similar. We're also going to do lazy daisy, woven rose, basket weave, and 2 different ways to do a leaf. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, let me just jump into the chat to see what's going on in there. Hi everybody. Let me scroll right back up to the beginning. Brittany's here. Hello, Brittany. Hi, Dina. I'm doing well, thank you. I actually haven't stopped. This is like, I've been so productive today. I'm feeling, honestly, I just got my new like Adderall and it's not called Adderall, it's called something else, but it's the same thing basically. And I am productive today. I'm feeling very organized, very on track. Whisper, hi Whisper, welcome. Barb, I saw your video with Sven of you guys dyeing yarn, and oh my god, Sven's English is phenomenal. Like, no Canadian can speak their second language as fluently as Sven was speaking English, so that's cool. I just thought I would mention that. And Frida's here. Hi Frida, how's it going? Ooh, made myself a mug brownie. Can you make one for me? Because I would like that. Nancy's here. Hi Nancy, nice to see you this afternoon. And long time no see, Jenna. Hi Jenna. And the links in Discord are, and the ways to support Laura, oh geez Louise, are in the video description. Indeed they are. And if you check out the link that says buy my art, that links you to my Redbubble site where you can see all of the different artworks that I've made available on a whole bunch of different mediums. You can have it as a canvas print or a tote bag or even a pair of socks. So yeah, check those links down below. Thanks for the reminder, Whisper. And AJ's here. Hi AJ, nice to see you. And Elsie's here. Good afternoon, Elsie. Lori, hi Lori. And Noob's here. Hello. Abigail, hi. And Blue is here as well. Hi everybody. Don't forget to like the video as you jump in, or at least before you leave, don't forget. Frida, what's going on with Frida? Having a hard time breathing. Are you all right? Just surprised. Jeez Louise, that's scary. Oh, Nancy, I'm glad you like it. I was thinking that it would be better to have it a little bit more organized than just on the fly. So I actually did parallel lines for you guys. I wrote out the names of them. It's hard to write on fabric, don't judge me. Laura, can you silent your phone? My phone didn't make any noise. But yeah, I can silent it. Oh, it's on silent. I don't have any thing that makes noise on right now. But yes, my phone is already on silent. I can hear it in your voice, Laura. Oh, good. I'm glad. And do you get a down period when Adderall wears off? I get more of a jittery, honestly. Like it's not, it's like, you know, when you crash from coffee, how you got like kind of shakes. If I take like actual true Adderall, then that will happen. But I have a different prescription for something else that works better for me. And it hasn't been giving me any side effects at all, which is why I'm really happy with it. But when I was using Adderall, I found that I would get very, like, my hands would just be kind of shaky. Oh, sorry, it must be someone in my house. Well, Lori, geez. Okay, so friends, before I jump in, yeah, that is. Oh my God, he's upside down. His head, his hands are like covering his, I can't move the camera. I want to move the camera. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't show you. He's very cute. He's basically upside down on top of a pile of blankets on the little chair behind me. He's got his head in a yarn bowl. Like, his head is upside down in a yarn bowl. Like, he's looking, like, if this is his head, he's like this in the yarn bowl. Like, here's his mouth. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. He's comfortable. I'm not going to bother him. Okay, so maybe I will bother him. Because can you imagine watching that, trying to learn something and dealing with a snoring kitty? Let me just grab him. He'll sit with me happily. Get your head out of there, huh? Good morning. Hi. Good morning. Ugh. There we go. All right, you can sit with me. Here you go. No problem. Now he's here with me. See? He's passed out. Well, now he's awake, but he'll pass out again soon. He's totally still, his eyes aren't even all the way open, like he's just not ready to get up. Okay, so before we jump into the tutorial part or even the actual embroidery part, which I'm going to be embroidering on this, I don't know, 5-inch, whatchamacallit, embroidery hoop. But then first we need the tutorial. But first, I want to pick the palette. This is what I came up with from all of my embroidery colors. This is not a lot of colors. I have like so many colors, and these are the ones that I've got that I've picked out as compatible with like the spring palette. The thing I need your help on, well, one of them is what should we use? Feetsies, yeah, little toe beans. What should we use as our like accent? Because I want to do some like not metal work, but like the appearance of something kind of glistening. And I don't know if with the spring palette, if it goes better with the silver. I kind of think it goes better, but I really like the gold. Like I just really like what this gold looks like. I just think that it's so shimmery and pretty. Isn't that nice? And like, oh, hi Karen, good afternoon. So here's like the silver. It still has the same shininess. This is from Nancy. Remember when Nancy sent that package that had a whole bunch of embroidery floss in it? So I love how much the gold glitters. Thank you, Nancy. But I feel like the silver makes a little bit more sense with this palette. You know what I mean? Like, look at that versus like, it would be like an accent color, so it should look really nice in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Silver, I find that that matches better like with these tones, like the flowers. But I really like the gold with all of these tones. So I feel like it's like divided pretty evenly. Like these ones go well with the silver, these ones go well with the gold, but I don't want to use both gold and silver. So I need your help to determine that. So right now, I'm not going to decide right now. Instead, I'm going to put my two piles here so that you can stare at them while we do the tutorial portion. And then after we finish the tutorial portion, I'll take a vote. That way everybody has enough time to kind of look at these guys together and see who will come out winning. I feel like I just want to like merge it all so that you have to look at it like a big pile. There. Chartreuse. 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 Take the one you love. I don't know though. That's the problem. I love the gold on its own, but the silver I find looks nice with this palette. But then these colors allow me to use gold. We're gonna deal with it, not right now, because right now what we're gonna deal with is some new tutorial fun. So get out your needle, your sewing needle. YouTube, calm down, it's a sewing needle. Get out your sewing needle and get out some embroidery floss, and let's do it. I'm gonna do my next color as, what haven't I used? Well, let me use the pink. No, I used a pink already. Purple. I'll use one of the purples that I'm not using in this tutorial. Sorry, I have my embroidery floss beside me and it's on the floor. All right, so for the long and short stitch, you'll be so surprised to find out it is a combination of long stitches and short stitches. Right, Sheila? Also, hello, Sheila. I agree with you. That's what I think too, is that the gold looks like real, like gold, like, oh, it's so sparkly. Like, you know when you see things from like the 1700s and they're like the royalties' clothes, they always have gold on it, you know? Okay, so to begin the long and short stitch, it doesn't really matter where you start, but we're treating it like, let me think of a time when you would want to use this. To fill in color. You'd want to use this to fill in color. So basically, it's a combination of doing long stitches, like that, and guess what? Then short stitches. So you just follow one stitch right after the other. You're coming up through the bottom of the fabric on your first stitch. So you'll come up through the bottom of the fabric and then you'll create a stitch any direction, a nice long stitch, and then parallel to that stitch, one like tiny little smidge over, come up again through the bottom, back where you were when you first came up through the bottom. And then we're gonna come back down through the fabric again, but only like halfway as long as that stitch. So what this does, if you can see, it creates a gradient for you. So when you're filling in a color and you want the color to change from green to yellow, you can do this long and short stitch, and you could do all of the long and short one row of green, then long and short one row of one strand of green, one strand of yellow, and like so on and so forth until you end up transferring completely to the new color. I personally don't usually follow lines when I do this. Are you barking in your sleep? You good boy? Yeah, you get him. Good job, get him. Good job, Thunder. Get him, go get him. Oh God, he's just so precious. Sorry, whenever he's barking at wherever he is in his dream, I like to insert myself into the dream. Good boy. Go get him, Thunder. Good boy. Good boy. I love when he doesn't wake up when I tell him good boy, because then I like to imagine that I'm in his dream saying good boy. Okay, so, oh, hi. Did I say hi, V? In my head, I saw your message and I said hi in my head. Okay, so right now you can see I'm following a straight line, so it's not showing any transition at this point, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna finish this row in the purple, and then I'm gonna switch it to another color so that you can see what I mean by it like transitions the color. It's cool. It's a cool stitch. I rarely do it following a line like I am right now. I'm usually filling in a shape, not a square. And there's no problem with that. You can just follow the direction of stitches is just kind of got to be sort of consistent. It doesn't really have to be totally consistent. It just has to be kind of sort of consistent. Hey Scrappy, good afternoon. So yeah, then we'll do, I just made one of my stitches a little too close together. Are you dreaming still? Oh God, he's so cute. Okay. And just gonna do a couple more stitches so that you can see what it looks like, and because I have all this purple already put on. So that's where we're going today. How's everybody doing today, by the way? And what tea are you drinking if you're drinking tea? I'm having peppermint tea, nothing in the ordinateur. Ooh, Alex is learning some big words today. He's in his French class right now. For those of you who don't know, my partner Alex right now is taking French classes to help advance himself, because self-improvement is a good thing. Also because his work pays for French classes, because in Canada, in order to excel in the government, you have to be fully bilingual. And Alex is a government engineer, so he might as well increase his income by having another language. Plus, he really likes learning. Ow, I just stabbed myself right in the finger. Ooh. Okay, almost done one row of this, and then I'm going to switch colors into a different color. Good, strawberry. Ooh, strawberry. Strawberry tea, yum. Black iced tea with peach and hibiscus. Now that sounds good. I need to start making iced tea. I'm not gonna lie, it's not warm enough here to warrant making iced tea, but someday soon it will be. Spring will officially land here in the Great White North eventually. All right, so if you're coming in late, or if you just weren't really interested in this stitch at the beginning, but now you're like, what in the world is she doing? I am doing the long and short stitch, which is honestly very similar to the satin stitch, and it's also just very repetitive. And it's a situation where you do a series of long and short bars. You can do them in a straight across way like I'm doing here, but when you're doing like an animal and filling it in, it's better to not have them all the same lengths. So you can see I have two lengths going, mid-length and long. But when you're doing it to mix a color on an actual embroidery project, you'd want these long stitches to all be different lengths, and you'd want these short stitches to all be different. So you want like layers. Think about when you're giving yourself bangs. You don't just cut straight across, you cut up and down, like up with the scissors, right? So this is kind of the same idea. We don't want it to be blunt and straight across. Just for this tutorial section it's going to be, but when I'm doing it in the actual project, you'll see it doesn't really, this does not do justice to how cool it actually ends up looking. Ah, Scrappy, you like it? I'm glad you like it. So what Scrappy's referencing there is my Redbubble, which is linked down below as Buy My Art, and you should buy my art. I'm just going to be shameless about it. And I drew out one of Scrappy's cats, and it came out really cute. So if you like black cats and you're looking for something that has a black cat on it, you could have Scrappy's cat of your very own, which is very cool. All right, so there we go with our first row. I'm gonna just do a second row in a different color so that you can see what I've got in mind here. So this color is pretty close, like it's not too far off. So this will be a good example. I'm tying knots today because I am doing a tutorial, not a real project, but I don't usually, honestly, I don't usually tie knots. I just like leave a loose end in the back and then it ends up getting stitched underneath something else. Wow, look how neat I'm being. Look at these. This is the back. The back of my embroidery projects never looks this good. Okay. I was watching the live court footage of my friend's appearance, but they broke for recess. Ugh, irritating. The drama would have been so fun. Okay, so now I'm going to start again. This time I'm going to start, you know what, let's start at the other end this time. So I'm going to start at the other end in the same like base corner, and I'm going to start by doing a long stitch. And now I'm basically doing the exact reverse of this previous stitch. I'm doing long stitch, short stitch, long stitch, short stitch. And, oh God, 500 a day that she's open or 180 days in jail. Can she make $500 a day? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Long stitch. Then we have a long stitch here. Oh, I messed up a little bit. Don't worry about it, it's gonna be fine. So it's the same concept though. I'm just doing long stitch, short stitch again. The difference this time is that I changed colors and I'm doing it in the reverse. So I'm pulling the thread towards me in a different way, but it's the same process, just going up through the fabric, down through the fabric, with a series of long and short stitches. So I will just show you what that looks like for the color change portion. So like if I was changing between these two colors, if I did it as a straight line, it wouldn't look nice, basically. I was telling my mom about her and it's just wrong. She gets no money to get through. She lives on pressure, but the governor has given a date to open. I'm gonna take you to the smithy. Oh, I'm excited to go. She owns the salon. The stylists pay her rent. Well, then if she's doing well, then, you know, you go for it, lady. It's only a couple of days left. You pay your $500 a day if you can make $500 a day by having the salon open. But imagine if you only made $500 a day and you have to pay a $500 fine every day. So really you're making $0 a day. So now you can kind of see what I was talking about in terms of the line between the two colors is less severe, I want to say. It's definitely not as perfect as it's going to look in the actual project, but you can kind of get an idea anyway of the vibe that this long and short stitch provides. You can change colors more subtly, more gradually than just a straight color change. And if you're doing something that's natural, like a flower or an animal, normally things don't change color really abruptly. So it's kind of nice to have this as an option instead of just doing seed stitches, which is basically like a million of this stitch. So yeah, let me just finish this row and then we are going to learn a new stitch, guys. We're already on to the next stitch today. Look at how productive I have been today. I am explaining a stitch more or less concisely. I have things planned and it's only 4:30. I'm telling you, I'm on a ball. It's my productive self-care birthday week. I'm telling you, I'm like doing better and I'm gonna keep on it. I'm not going to crash. I'm going to stay focused. She's saying she doesn't, but had to admit in court she did in fact receive money. Well, can't lie in court. That's risky business. There we go. Just about finished this row of long and short. I know you can see the effect, but I feel like I have to go all the way to the end or else it's like not pretty, and I'm trying to make something aesthetically pleasing here, people. This is art, didn't you know? Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited to work on this embroidery project. Hey B, nice to see you this afternoon. I'm glad you could make it. Just realized I haven't even said hi yet. Hi Amber, welcome. Don't forget to like the videos you come in, friends, and those of you who like lurk watch, welcome. And there, almost finished here. Sorry, this took me a little bit longer than I thought to finish the row. But you get the picture. Long and short stitches in order to allow for more subtle color transitions. So instead of just being a straight line of like blue to purple or dark purple to light purple, you can see it's like dark purple, one line of each, light purple, and you can go even more gradual by using fewer strands of embroidery floss. So for example, I'm using 6 strands. If you were using 6 strands of the one color, you could swap it out so you're using 4 strands of one color and 2 strands of the new color, and the next time use 2 strands of one, 4 strands of the other, and then the next time switch to the entire other color. It's just another way to gradually color change, and it looks nice. Oh, I do love that. Okay, now we're gonna do some satin stitches. What colors haven't I used here? I could use a bluish green. I mean, it's kind of close to that, but it's darker, so we'll use it. Okay, so next we're going to be doing the satin stitch. There's two really cool, that's not gonna be long enough. I don't know why I cut it so early. It's going to be two styles of satin stitch I'm gonna show you, or two things you can do with satin stitches. Satin stitches are usually used to fill in, that's not the right needle. Where did I put it? There it is. They're usually used to fill in spaces that are not hugely wide, but also not narrow. Like for example, we're gonna be using satin stitches to fill in these blocks. So it's nice to do it on something that there's two lines for. And I'm going to show you how to do it. It's the same style of stitch as the long and short. We're just going up and down through the fabric. If I can keep the needle threaded there. Hey Candace, nice to see you this afternoon. So we come up through the bottom of the fabric and then just decide on a stitch length. But in this situation, I'm imagining that I'm following a letter. So I'm going to just go across one stitch length. And then I'm going to come back up right next to where I originally came up through the fabric. Get really close to it. That's why it's nice to have lines. And then come down where you went down through the fabric just a little bit over. And basically we're like wrapping the fabric. If you think about it, we're going up and down through the fabric, wrapping up that middle portion in order to, shoot, how do we go from LNA to LML? Well, I thought since it was really busy, and also I don't have a place or purpose for the LNA, so I thought we'd switch to LML. Hi Nicola, nice to see you this afternoon. So basically, we're still just doing the same process. Up through the bottom of the fabric, across to your other line, and down through the fabric. And you're just going to follow the line, making parallel stitches, repeatedly making parallel stitches until your space is filled in. It's like it's a really easy stitch that makes it look like you worked harder than you did. Honestly, satin stitches are super classy looking in final projects. I think that they bring like a really pretty, I don't know, pretty detail to it. Like the blanket stitch is a little clunky, if you know what I mean. Whereas like the satin stitch, for a bold stitch, it's very, it's pretty, it's dainty. Could put it on a bag or a jean jacket when done. Totally. My jean jacket would be a great spot for it. I think that's a great idea. I could put it on like the arm somewhere. So you can see as I keep doing these parallel lines, it fills in that space in a really clean and pretty way. When you're using the satin stitch, I really do think that putting lines is like beneficial, adding lines. And I am not someone who likes to follow lines, but honestly, for satin stitch, it's nice to have entire projects in satin stitch on organza. Did you lose your mind? Oh wait, you do commission work on dresses, don't you? No, that's V who does commission work on dresses. V, I wonder, have you done hand embroidery satin stitches? Because you were saying you apply lace, right? Am I getting my people mixed up? Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so I made a little boo-boo, but that's okay, don't worry about it. You can always go back and fill in the spaces that you kind of left. There you can see, satin stitch, beautiful. Same process as this, but all one length stitches. I'm doing the satin stitch for my project, but not with 6 threads. Well, I'm not going to be using 6 threads when I'm doing my hand embroidery either, but for the tutorial portion, I wanted it to be nice and clear and visible, and I wanted it to be super obvious what I'm doing because I'm on a webcam camera, which is basically trash-ish. And for that reason, I needed it to, sorry, I'm also looking for another color. For that reason, I needed it to be nice and bold. Okay, so now for the second satin stitch. Oh, I guess I should use the same color for all the satin stitch things. I'm going to show you a cool way to make a flower that's really easy. It's also a really cool way to create a hole. Like if you're making a corset, Barb Whisper, you would probably have some experience with this. You could make the eyelet hole out of this stitch. So yeah, I will show you. So we're going to come up through the bottom, draw a circle first of all. Draw a circle, then come up through the bottom, and then come down on the other, like around the circle, right? And then, no, you can't, Scrappy. It can only do 30 minutes. Canon cameras can only do 30 minutes of live streaming at a time. Then they shut off for no reason, and then you have to reset. So you come up through the bottom in the center again, and then you come down on the other side at the line of the circle, and then you come up through the center again, and then guess what? You go to another area of the circle and go back down through the line of the circle. And pretty much you keep going up through the middle. There we go. Well, you try to, if you manage to not screw it all up. There we go. And then come down through the fabric and just go up through the middle, down through the fabric, over and over and over again. And if you get it right, like how I did not, apparently, I messed up. So the instructions were right, but I had the knot in the wrong place. So then we're going through a knot, which is not what we want. It's not what we want. Ha 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 ha. Dad jokes. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. We want it done right. Erg. Where are my little snips? Why am I using these gigantic fabric scissors right now? You know what I asked for Christmas that I didn't get, and that's fine. I just didn't buy myself one because I had asked for it for Christmas from one of my sisters. Those little tiny scissors that look like a bird. I want a pair of those. She said she got me a pair and they took forever to ship. And I'm very much looking forward to just keeping a cute little pair of bird scissors near me. Bad cameras, yeah. When we went to the Henry's store, I don't know if Henry's is everywhere, but that's what our camera store is called here. And when we went there, we were like, is there an add-on we can buy to make it record longer? Okay, so draw a circle, then come up anywhere, come up from the bottom, anywhere along the line for the circle. Then go down through the middle of the circle, and then come up on the other side, still on the line of the circle. So then come back down through the middle again, and now you'll have a straight line. So now go perpendicular to that last stitch we just did, coming up through the side of the circle, through the line of the edge of the circle, geez, and then come down through the center again, and then up through the bottom again, along the edge of the circle, and then down through the center. And then now what we're going to do is just each of those little squares, because we've made essentially a cross, we're going to do the same thing diagonally, and that's going to create some kind of star looking thing. And that's a cute little stitch on its own, like a cute little flower, just by doing these straight stitches up and down from the outside. Coming from the bottom, you want to be on the outside of the circle, and then going down through the fabric, you want to be going into the center of the circle. So if you're coming up through the fabric, you want to be on the outer line of the circle, and if you're going down through the fabric, you want to be going into the center. So now you can see that could make a really cute little flower as is, but if you keep going and split it another time, you'll end up with something a lot rounder, with a lot less spiky petals. CJ's back asleep, but this time he's in my lap. Frida, what does Frida say? Dad visited today and I'm all dad joked up. That's sweet. Sometimes I dad joke my dad and he doesn't get it. And then I'm like, you, for one, should be on your game about dad jokes. Okay, so in the case of you doing an eyelet, like for a corset, this hole that we're going into in the center, you'd want it to have been a little bit bigger of a hole to have begun. Like you want to actually be stitching into the center that is a hole, not just making your own hole. But basically what that'll do is create like a buttonhole, an eyelet. So there you go, you can see. That's still basically the satin stitch, just all going into a central point instead of following a line. Okay, now I'm gonna switch colors because I don't want all of this beautiful rainbow to go to waste by repeating colors at this point. Okay, so now we're going to do the Lazy Daisy. This one's fun. So for this one, the Lazy Daisy, again, you want to draw a circle, put a dot in the center of your circle, and then 5 dots around the circle. 5, not 6, not something else. 5 dots, don't go wild. And I'm going to do blue for this one because I have blue and I want to. I'm just going to go a little longer. Longer is better. It's the worst when you, well, it's not the worst, but it's awful when you get to a point and then you're slightly short on thread. It's like yarn chicken, but it's thread chicken, and it's very irritating playing thread chicken. All right, so for the Lazy Daisy, we're going to start, where are we starting? We're starting in the center. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second. Yeah, okay. So we're going to start in the center. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail because I don't want that knot to be getting in my way. And then we're going to, guess what? Go back down through the center. And from there, now we've got this big long loop. You go up through the fabric through one of those points, one of those dots that you drew. But guess what? The loop goes over. Remember that chain stitch we did yesterday? It's basically a chain stitch, but all by itself. So we're not doing it in a row. We're just doing singular chain stitches and then pulling it tight and tacking it down on the other side. See? Oops. And then you get one petal. And then you come through the bottom again and go back down through the bottom, but come through the next point, the next dot that you made. Make sure there's a loop around your needle and then pull it down. And then you tack the little bit on the other side. And then you do the whole thing again. So come up through the middle, go back down through the middle. You'll have a loop left over. Come up with your needle at one of your 5 points. And then make sure there's a loop on your needle. Pull it nice and tight, but not too tight. And you'll get a little petal. And then you bring your needle back down to tack down that pretty little petal. You can do more than the 5 petals. Whenever I've done the Lazy Daisy, it's always been 5 petals. Of course, you could do whatever works for you. We may do a version of the Lazy Daisy for our forget-me-nots for this project. I was originally planning on using French knots. Let me just show you the last Lazy Daisy. So come up through the middle, go back down through the middle. Before you run out and pull all that yarn through, come up through the bottom where you had one of your dots, and then go back down through the fabric just on the other side in order to tack it down. So mine weren't very symmetrical, sorry. Mine is kind of a wonky flower, but that's all right. You get the idea. So that's a Lazy Daisy. Fun and easy. Okay, we've got, ooh, nice mask. Oh God, look at that dog. Oh my God, did you do that? That's beautiful with the satin stitch. You used long and short stitch for a lot of it, just so you know. Yes, it's a version of the satin stitch, but apparently it has its own name, long and short stitch. So that's how you did your color transitions. Okay, let's switch colors one more time. And by one more time, I mean one more of multiple times. For this one, I'm gonna do, I think, red. We haven't done any red yet because red doesn't look good on my webcam. Okay, so for this one, which is called the Woven Rose, I hope that was clear enough for the Lazy Daisy. If it wasn't, ask me questions and I can clarify. But I will be doing it in this project, so you'll see me do it again. For this Woven Rose, it starts off pretty similar to a couple of things, actually. It's pretty similar to what we did for that satin stitch to begin with, except like the Lazy Daisy, we're starting with 5 points. So I'll show you what I mean. We're going to come up through from the bottom anywhere. It doesn't matter where, one of the points basically, and then come down through the fabric in the center. And then come up again on one of your other points. So we're going to come up through the fabric at every one of your dots, and you need 5 dots. And then we'll just keep moving around, coming up through the fabric where your dot is, and then coming down through the fabric in the center. And the longer you make these stitches, the larger your hand embroidered woven rose will be. Also, this fabric is not dirty. It's naturally dyed with black walnut, so it's just stained that color. Just in case you were like, why is she using dirty fabric? I'm not. I dyed it on purpose like this. All right, there. So now we've got these 5 little stitches. Cute on its own, but not what we're going for today. So then just come up somewhere near the center. Not exactly the center because you just went down through the center. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an over-under weave. So I'm gonna start by going under this first stitch, and then we'll go over the second stitch, and then we'll go under the next one, and over the next one. And then now we're back at the beginning, but instead of going over, we're going under. Because there's an odd number of stitches, we switch who's over and who's under each time we go around. But you're just weaving over, under, around the stitches that you did previously. And then it creates this really pretty, really easy, intricate looking woven rose. Honestly, it looks like it's way more work than it actually is. Once you see it finished here, you're gonna be like, if I saw that on a thing, I would think that you worked really hard on it. There we go. Over and under. And I've seen people do this with green for the initial star shape, and in some of them you can see little bits of the green show through, and it kind of looks like leaves or a stem, so that's an option also. Hi Crystal, welcome back. So far I really like the long and short stitch. Yeah, me too. It's a really pretty one, and when you do it with thin, like only 2 pieces of embroidery floss, you get a really beautiful result. And here we go. Over and under, over, under. And we just repeat that until you can't see the stitches anymore, going over and under those 5 bars that we made. There we go. It's true, Whisper. I know, right? That thing is like, that's a big project. It's very beautiful. Definitely took you a million hours, right? Please tell me it took you a million hours. If you told me it took you like a small amount of time or something, it would hurt my feelings. It definitely took forever. There we go, almost done my wraparound, weaving over and under. And because you did that weaving, it's not going to just sort of spill out like if you, I don't know, if there was no tacked down stitches, you wouldn't necessarily get the same effect. Here we go. There we go. Almost done. I'm gonna go around one more time And then I'll just come down right here. And then you just come down once you've covered all of them and you get this cute little flower. Isn't that nice? And it looks like a rose. Why did it focus only for a second? Could you just do a little better there, camera? Help us out. There we go. Until the camera decides it doesn't want to focus, you can see it kind of does look like a rose. Isn't it pretty? But yeah, me too. I like the short and long and short stitch, definitely. I'm trying to incorporate the entire thing into the frame and it still doesn't want to focus on it. I'm telling you. This webcam camera is asking for it. All right, so that is the woven rose. You can do it in lots of sizes. I'm probably going to do it in 2 strands of fabric. It's in my art exam portfolio. I spent 60 hours on it in total. In your portfolio, you should put it on your wall. Why is that in a portfolio? Unless it's a picture of it in the portfolio. You need to put that, don't hide it, it's so beautiful. All right, now we're going to do the basket weave. This one's fun and also pretty easy. At least I think so, from what I remember. I haven't done this one in a while. This is an old embroidery floss. Hi there, old man. Good morning. How's your nap going down there? Doing that. And then we'll just tie a little knot. Okay, so for the basket weave, again, having lines is really helpful, but you don't need to have lines. You could do this on a not box-like shape. It's just easier when it's on a boxy shape. And I shall show you. So if you come up anywhere, you just make a long stitch and then take a little step over, nothing too crazy in terms of your step over. So you come up, down, you come up through the bottom and then you go down through the top after about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. And then you move over a tiny little bit, come up through the fabric again, and then go back down through the fabric on the other side. Again, if you have lines, this probably makes more sense. And then same distance apart. The more consistent your distance apart is for these first stitches, basically we're making a line of parallel stitches similar to the satin stitch, except you want to be leaving about 1 stitch width between each one. So we're not doing them right next to each other. We're leaving just a little bit of space, and that will be explained soon. I still haven't gotten around to doing it. Well, you should do it, Bee. It's a really beautiful project. It should be seen. This is honestly why I sew a lot of my embroidery stuff to my clothing, because I feel like I worked so hard on it. I don't want to just have it on, like, in a drawer. I want it to be like, I want people to see it, you know? You should move it to the wall. The serpent is going to take forever. How many strands are you doing? Is that doing the warp first, then the weft? Yeah, basically. I'm actually doing real weaving, essentially, Candace. The cool thing is that you can do this on a hole. If you had a hole in the fabric right here, you could do this over a hole and it'll cover it and reinforce it at the same time. So yeah, I am doing, I don't know which one, the warp or the weft, but it's the same process, right? It's just very, very small. Okay, so now we've got a little square. Now I'm going to come up through the bottom and guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go over and under, oops, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna go over and under each one of these strands or each one of these stitches until I get to the other end, and then I'll pull it through and then I'll tack it down by going down through the fabric. Ta-da! And then we'll come up a little stitch width away, and then I'll do the exact opposite, under, over, under, over, under, and that's going to create that little basket weave. I've done this stitch when mending socks. Me too! Me too. And it's great for mending socks, but did you know it's also great to replicate a flower box when creating hand embroidery? I mean, think about a cute little basket that you can make with this stitch. You can incorporate cute little motifs into your embroidery. Hold on. 2 strands, satin stitches following the body of the serpent. Fun. Enjoy. That's gonna be a lot of stitches. But I like using 2 strands. I find 2 strands to be good. 1 strand, I did that for a project and holy moly. Why did I do that? I do not know. It was beautiful, but it was basically you're embroidering with thread at that point. There we go. Again, we're coming up through the bottom, 1 stitch width over from where we just went down through it. I remember that video, Laura. Really? Well, good. I'm glad. I remember it, but I mean, I would hope I do. I'd like to say I remember all of my videos. I can't count the lives in that anymore though, because I say the darndest things every single day. I just decided to just not keep it in the long-term memory. Just let it go with the short-term memory. As long as I don't become like a senator any day. We don't have senators, do we? Yeah, we do. We have a Senate, don't we? Anyway, as long as I don't want to be involved in political office, then it shouldn't be a problem. And I do not. All right, I'm going over and under a bunch more times until you have the same number of rows that you have columns. That's not actually necessary. Oh my goodness, she got 7 days in jail and was fined $7,000. Ugh. I don't want to go to jail. That sucks. I mean, like I want to be like, yeah, she shouldn't have been doing it, but like, oh, jail time? She's probably going to get the Rona in jail because jails are where it's spreading, jails and old folks' homes. All right, there we go. I've made it across. I'm going to do 1 more stitch to just tack it down. And then you see how cute that looks? How cute is it? If you do that with 2 strands of floss, it's beautiful. Would have saved her money to shut her business down for the time being. Welp. I want to say serves you right for the 7,000 because you shouldn't have done it. It wasn't allowed. But like the jail time, I mean, just put her on house arrest. It's basically what everyone's dealing with anyway. Put her on mandatory house arrest. That'll make it funny because she tried to open the business because like the lockdown wouldn't. Ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying. All right, now let's do another leaf. And by another, I mean let's do the first leaf. I'm going to use this bright green, Kelly green, which I don't normally like using because it's so bright. But this is going to be a good point, a good place for it. There we go. By the way, I haven't really asked you guys any questions. What's going on? Is anybody doing anything? What's happening? Like, Scrappy's got drama in her life that she's following that we get to follow along with, which is this hairdresser situation. So that's fun. And Whisper's has been doing a lot of yarn dyeing. What's everybody else up to? Whisper and Scrappy, you are also, like, please feel free to answer again because you know what I'm saying. Hold on. And then we go, where do I start? Okay, so I'm going to start at the top. So my leaf shape, starting at the tip top of the leaf. Sorry, I had to just remember what I'm doing. And then you come down through the middle of the leaf and you want to be basically poking right in the center of your leaf drawing. Draw a leaf first of all, I guess. And then next, we're going to, what are we going to do, Laura? Oh, hold on, I have it written down. I know this is, no, I don't have it written down. Dang it. Hold on one moment, my friends, because I really would love if I could find the picture so that I can teach you the way that I wanted to. There we go. Please excuse this interruption. For a brief moment from our sponsors. Today we are sponsored by Last Minute Laura, the Last Minute Laura shop on Redbubble. lots of products available to you for reasonable prices. Some of the commission goes to the artist, which is super duper. The Last Minute Laura shop is the coolest shop around. So vote for me. I don't know. All right, there we go. All right, so I remember. I have it now. Well, not I remember. I checked it. So coming from the bottom, you're going in the tip top of the leaf, and then you're going to go down through the fabric in the middle of the leaf. And then you're going to come up again through the fabric, perpendicular to where you just came down, or the stitch you just made. We're doing a perpendicular stitch, and we're coming up through the line of your leaf, the outside line of the leaf. And then we're going to come up to the top again, and we're going to just go take a little sliver right here of fabric. So we're going under, basically under the initial stitch, but through the fabric too. And then we'll come back. Oops, let's try not to get it caught on our embroidery hoop. Like this. Right? Right, Laura? Yes. And then we come down to the middle again. Sorry, this is just going to take me a minute because I haven't done this one in a while, and I checked my old work, but I didn't practice it because, you know, reasons. So then we go from that spot where we came up through the fabric back down to the middle of the middle center line, the veins, the center vein. Jeez Louise. Hi, Care Bear. Hi, Kim. Through that center vein in the middle of the leaf, just a little smidge over. Then we're going to come to the other side of the leaf that we haven't had a stitch go through yet. Come up through the fabric there. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did before, where we go down through the fabric near the top of the leaf, up through the fabric, pretty much right next door. Now we've got two lines, and then again we're going down to the middle of the derp, the middle of the vein, and then we will come up right next door to that first stitch we did. Geez, I hope that this is even in some way comprehensible. I apologize. What am I doing here? What is my life right now? Okay, hold on. Then we come up like this. Oh, Kim, geez Louise, thank you. Aw, happy birthday for me. Thanks, Kim. That's an awesome, awesome super chat. Thank you so much. I looked up from being very confused and decided this is better to not be confused, better to just look at the screen, apparently. So thank you so much, Kim. Very much appreciated. Okay. I am not going to lie, I'm going to start this entire thing over again because I want it to be explained in a way that you can actually follow along without having to slow down my video and rewind it 1,000 times. Although at this point, if I was trying to learn this stitch, I would have clicked away because look at me, I'm like a mess right now. But don't worry, you guys are here, so you're going to get all the great information. Kim, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. That's awesome. I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Kim's a rock star. There we go. Now I'm going to start again. Let's try this from the top, people. All right, so we're coming up from the bottom of the fabric at the tip top of the leaf. Then we're going to be coming down in the center of the leaf, in the center, always it's the center. Jeez. And then we're going to come up at a 90-degree angle, perpendicular. We're basically making a letter L, which is important to know because, no, we're not making a letter L. We're starting a letter L, like imagine it. And then what we're going to do is come back up to the very tip top again. And we're going to go across the spine. We're following these lines, the lines of your leaf. You want to be on the line every time you're using coming up and down through these stitches. So this little bit that I've grabbed here comes up, goes down on the line and comes up on the line. And then we pull that through. Oops. And then we come down on the other side, which is going to give us a nice little cross up at the top. See, we've got a little three-way cross here. And now we're at the bottom again. We're going to come up just a little ways down where we came up for the first stitch there. And then we're going to grab, oops, go down through the fabric on the line near the top and then come right back up on the other side on that line again. Oh, we're gonna try. And that's gonna create another line. Geez, I hope this is clear what I'm doing because my explanation is not great. Sorry guys. But if you can see what I'm doing, hopefully that will translate because I don't think my explanation is translating. Basically, we're making a million repeated X's, but by doing them one over the other, as you can see me doing here, it's gonna make a really cool leaf design. And I think I'm struggling because I usually do these pretty small so that I don't have to use a lot of thread, because this does use quite a bit of thread. Because as you can see on the back, we're also going around the fabric this way. And then we'll come down at the diagonal other end, come up right across from it, and then make an X by going down the other diagonal end. Then go across from it. Come up, and then make a diagonal line, come down, do a straight across stitch, come up on the line of the leaf. There we go, now it's starting to look the way I This is what I want. It took me a minute to get it right there, but now we're on track. And we're just making a bunch of X's, following the exact same pattern each time. On the line, we're coming up and then going down from the bottom of the leaf to the top of the leaf, and then we're going across. So now we're still at the top of the leaf, just at the other side of the leaf. And then we come back down nearer to the bottom of the leaf. Geez, this one's hard to explain. CJ, you're gonna fall off my lap if you don't adjust your seat. He's dreaming. He's like chewing in his sleep right now. My cat on my lap. 1 second, I have to put this down because he's actually sliding. Come here. Hi, old man. You're gonna fall off. No, I'm not doing anything you don't want. I'm just curling you so you don't slide off. There, is it okay? There you go. All right. Jeez Louise, sorry. There we go, and then diagonally down. Abigail, I want some cornrows. If only my brother was alive, he could do it for me. Cornrows. Was your brother good at cornrows? And sorry that you lost your brother. But why was he the cornrow doer? Give me more background. Is there a story to go with that? Hold on. What do we have? Always sitting on my dreadlocks. You have dreadlocks? I didn't see what Blue wrote. That's why I'm falling behind. Mine is now a bob. You cut your hair? How exciting. Mine is a weird mullet mohawk. That's where we're at right now. We have the quarantine mullet mohawk. Oh, across this way. I can't wait to try embroidery. It's so fun, Kim. I can't wait for you to, bless you. I can't wait for you to try, bless you again, for you to try embroidery. Once you start, you're gonna be basically fully addicted. Okay, for the rest of the leaf, it's actually so much easier because now you're following lines that you already made. So now, from this point on, we're going down following the line. We're still going across following the line. But then when we come up, we're just putting the stitch basically just on the other side of these guys. You let your daughter do it? Oh my goodness, risky business, but also how to turn, ugh, geez Louise, bless you. Why do cat sneezes have to have so much snot in them, honestly? Why are your sneezes so snotty? Lucky he's cute. Okay, so here we're going. You can see now what's starting to happen. It just takes a minute to take hold to start being really clear what's happening with the leaf. But now that you can see, it begins to look kind of like a herringbone sort of vibe. Does that make sense? It's not like a herringbone, that's a whole other stitch, but you see it's got herringbone energy, I find, if that's a thing. I'm running out of thread. See, I hate when this happens. I hate doing that. When I run out of thread, it makes me slightly irritable. Abigail. Sorry to hear. Sorry, Abigail, I let my daughter do it. Waiting for my mom to help me with my green hair. Oh, that'll be fun. Green hair is fun. I donate to a wig maker who sponsors cancer patients. Oh, that's awesome. My brother was half African American. He used to have them all the time. Oh, cool. Well, again, I'm sorry that you've lost your brother, but that is a nice memory to have of him. So it's kind of nice that you have a memory that he was the cornrow king. Not the Tiger King, not to be mistaken for the Tiger King. Jeez, that show. All right, so there's a leaf. Sorry, CJ, I gotta put my legs down. My feet are falling asleep. Ugh. Okay, and now we're going to do the second leaf. This one is, I think, a lot of fun. Oh, thank you, CJ. He's like a heater. It got so hot in here. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to be doing something else. This one, I've only done this one time, so this tutorial is going to be like both of us trying it together because I think it's so cool, and when I tried it the first time, I don't know why I never did it multiple times. Maybe it's hard. I'm gonna find out. It might be difficult, so I will let you know. I don't think it is, though. I don't remember being stressed by it. So again, we're coming up through the bottom at the tip top of the leaf. Don't you think it's a cool stitch? Me too. And what we're gonna do is, you need something round. So I'm gonna grab a pencil. Not sponsored, but this is a Briggs & Little pencil. Briggs & Little, sponsor me. Or DMC, or Anchor, just a brand. Come find me, sponsor me. Okay, so you need something round. And then you've gotta wrap around that round thing like a pencil a bunch of times, like several. Actually, I think the first one you have to do like a slip knot. You don't have to, but when I did that, I remember it being easier. So a slip knot, like as if you're crocheting. You guys know that one. Wrap it around your pencil or your hook or whatever you're using a bunch of times. Like I'm talking maybe 10 times. That's probably good enough. I'm gonna go a few extra times because I have a too much gene. But if you don't have a too much gene, that's better for you. And then you pull it off your pencil, which I didn't think about, that the eraser is a thick end. And now you've got this a million loops. The next thing you do is remember what you have to do next, which is we're gonna go through, hold on, what are we doing now? Hey, don't scare me like that, you big jerk. Okay, let me do it again because of reasons. I had to, oi, 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 oi. You guys don't fight. I'm doing stuff. Can you not right now? CJ wants to lie down with Thunder and Thunder is taking it as a threat. Thunder, you don't have to move just because he's there. Jeez Louise. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap around again because I may have done it wrong, but don't worry about it. We're gonna figure this out together. Okay, like this, and then why did I not like doing it? There's a reason, a really good reason. I think this is the reason, because it's actually not that easy. Okay, now that we're here, there's the beginning. This is the end. Why is it difficult, Laura? I don't remember. That's why I don't remember, because maybe it was difficult. I don't remember, but it's cool. Give me a sec. I can do this. I can figure this out. You guys just sit tight. I'm gonna figure this out. Wow, this is a great tutorial. She doesn't know what she's doing. But I will know what I'm doing very soon. Hey, is Thunder scarred more than one way? No, when CJ tries to lie down with him, he's always done that. He acts super defensive about the area where he's sleeping, and then if CJ comes and lies down, Thunder will go and lie down with him right after. So in like 5 minutes, Thunder's going to inch his way back onto the dog bed and cuddle with CJ. But Thunder does not like when CJ just decides he's gonna come join Thunder in the dog bed. Okay, I think I remember. This is not great, but it's gonna be fine. Okay, so we finish with our needle underneath like that. We pull out the little pencil, but hold all the loops because the difficult thing is that it tries to escape. Then we go through the yeah. We go through the tube full of loops without losing any loops. Good. And then you pull a strand. Right? Nope. It didn't work. It didn't work how it was supposed to. It's supposed to turn into a leaf. Well, we'll give up on that for today, and I will teach you how to do it tomorrow because clearly I don't remember. But these are the stitches we're going to be starting with. So now that it is 5:15, we're going to switch into actual embroidery gear here. I'm switching needles now because the one that we used for, well, I've now misplaced it anyway. Oh, there it is, good. The one we used for that, I don't want it to be so big. So we're gonna shrink our needle down a little bit, and I'm going to start on my actual project. But now that we've gotten to this point, this is when I need your help. So remember at the beginning when we talked about the color palette that I've chosen, it's not a palette, it's just a rainbow of different greens and purples and pinks, a little bit of blue in there, a little bit of yellow, not a lot of red because I'm not a big fan of red, just for some reason. But because of the colors that I've chosen, I want to have an accent color that is beautiful, and I personally really like gold, but I also recognize that maybe the gold doesn't necessarily go perfectly with the whole vibe theme of this project. So I need your guys' help again. So again, what are we picking? Oh, bye Bee, have a good rest of your night. I forgot, I was in the background. I want to do a gradient with the yarn on the wall just to be extra. Oh my God, that'll be a lot. I want to do a gradient for the whole background. That is extra, but it'll be nice. Oh, what's baby V doing? Queen says hello. Oh, good morning V. Good morning baby V, I guess, or Imani, but baby V. I'm off, sweet dreams people. Bye Jenna, have a great rest of your night. I'm writing with my left hand because I super glued myself to a stick. Well, that's where you're at today. Sometimes you just super glue yourself to a stick. You think so? Go for the gold. Does the floss come on cards or did you card? I carded them. I card my flosses. I actually got these plastic cards, which is amazing because they last a lot longer. Okay, so there's that. First, we're going to be doing some, what are we gonna start with? What do you guys think we should start with? I was thinking of doing a couple of those roses, those woven roses, around the name, around the LML. Also, I'm thinking of doing the LML in blue and maybe having some bright blue accents in there. Should we start with the LML? Why don't we do that first? I feel like that's a good way to start. So we can do LML. I don't have anything except for the forget-me-nots that's going to be in blue. So I think that'll be good for the letters to be in blue. But we don't need 6 strands worth. So I'm going to just divide my 6 strands into groups of 2 strands. So I'll have 3 times the length out of this. There we go. So, because it made my work look so neat on that rough thing, the stitch thing, I should put this in the view. I feel like it's a good vibe, don't you think? There. I'm going to just tie a knot because I don't normally, and it always comes out messy. Maybe it's just because I'm a messy human being, but I'm going to try to tie a knot and see if I can do a little bit. I don't think that's how it works, Frida. Maybe. I mean, the rules are there ain't no rules. When you have like nail polish on, if you don't have any nail polish remover, you can put more nail polish on and it'll remove. So, okay, so I think that I'm going to start with some split back stitches to do an outline here. I'm going to get started by doing these, where am I going to start? You know what, I'm going to start at the end here because I think this is the farthest away I'll ever have to go in this dark blue. But I'm going to work in little split back stitches. So I'm going down through the fabric and then coming back up half a stitch away and then coming down through the fabric again but through the previous stitch. And then I'll come up half a stitch away and then I'll come down. No, I love glue. Just don't love it too much because you'll end up sticking something important to something else important. I was thinking start with the LML. Brittany, then your two great minds think alike, but fools seldom differ. That's the second part. There, that's all I've got to say. But 2 strands of floss gives a really delicate vibe. Oh, what happened to Abigail? Thank you so much. And not up to you, I promise, but my whole family. What? Oh my gosh. That's awful, Abigail. I'm so sorry. Jeez. I also hate working with glue. I hate waiting for it to dry. And if you're working with super glue, it's like not sticky and then you rub your finger on it and then it becomes sticky very quickly. Like it can be sitting on a surface looking like wet. It doesn't dry until it touches skin and then it decides to immediately dry very much. All right. Ooh, that does look nice. I very much advocate for 2 strands of embroidery floss at a time. So the tutorial portion of today's embroidery is finished. So if you were here for that, the rest of this stream is just going to be us chit-chatting and me embroidering, me creating more embroidery here with the stitches that we've learned so far. I'm going to be probably sticking mostly to split back stitch today and some satin stitch. Nothing too crazy. Oh, this is pretty. I already really like it. That's a good sign. Also, now that I'm seeing navy blue next to gold, it's gonna look amazing. That's a smart idea, Frida. That's a really good idea. Keep tissue around. I usually just rub my fingers together and then they're stuck and then I pull them apart and then you rip off like a layer of skin, which is irritating. But also, I'm very impatient. None of this looking for something like acetone. Oh, speaking of which, if you notice, my nails are not totally jacked up anymore. I went to get the nail polish remover bottle because I was tidying the bathroom and I knew that there was an empty nail polish remover bottle and there was just enough at the bottom of the nail polish remover bottle to fully saturate 1 cotton ball. Ooh, you like that sound? Here. Oh, that didn't sound great. Here, hold on, let's try again. Ooh, that ASMR sound. I don't know what I was saying. Oh, I think gold will look good with the blue. I don't know what else I was saying because who am I if I'm not basically someone who just stream of consciousness talks. You didn't get it. I'm sorry. You didn't. I get it. Hold on. This was my whole art school time. Frida with pieces of tissues glued on her hands. You know what though? It's a good tip. Like I never thought of having an option, you know, like other than just being glued, having like a safety there. The floss will make a nice sound if you make sure to tighten your embroidery hoop. If your embroidery hoop is loose, you're not going to get that nice sound. In addition, for those of you who are newer to embroidery, I would recommend when you're using a fabric, use one that you can very clearly see the grain of the fabric. Because when you're pulling the embroidery hoop tight, it's very easy to see if you've accidentally warped the fabric. Whereas if you have like a really tight woven fabric and you can't see the weave, you may accidentally warp it. And then when you finish your embroidery, you'll take it off and it won't look good. It will not work. Oh, thank you very much, Candace. Yeah, I found my nail polish remover had enough to saturate one cotton ball. I took off all of my nail polish with it, and then I put on the same nail polish just again. So now my nails, oh, I already screwed them up. Well, they're not chipped, so there's that. I have to clean my office today, Jeez Louise. I have a gigantic order coming in tomorrow and we'll have to start processing it all. Ooh, what kind of order? What are you ordering? And if it's artsy craftsy, I need to know more. Is it yarn? Ooh, guess why I learned that. Oh, yeah. Because you were stuck to it all the time. Yup. Thunder, just lie down with him. He's sleeping. You don't have to stare at me with those big old puppy dog eyes. You're very demanding. Your attention is given to you all day. So muslin would be perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love using muslin for hand embroidery. It's like my favorite. Installation art. Stick super glued to finger. It's just Frida sitting on a chair staring at her hand. There we go. Now I'm at the top of that first. This is not too slow. I actually am pretty confident with how this is going. 200-piece lot of new with tag shelf pulls from Nordstrom to resell. With tags shelf pulls. New with tags shelf pulls. Shelf pulls are clothing items from Nordstrom? Things that they pulled from the shelf? I prefer muslin just because I like how it feels. I like the texture of it. But most of my muslin has been through the wash a million times, so it's super like beaten up. It's soft. I like muslin. Yeah, you could use thinner cotton, totally. You could use it for like pillowcase thickness. I just like a little bit thicker because it's got a little more stability and a little more opacity. The thinner you go, the more you have to be aware of where your stitches are on the back of the fabric, and I don't like having to concern myself with the back of the fabric. I like only worrying about the front. So by having a little bit of a denser fabric like muslin, you end up not having to worry so much about if the back isn't pretty. Since the stores are closed, I haven't been able to source clothing for my resale. Oh, well, did you get a really good deal? Because, cool. And also, how much fun is that going to be to look at? For the corset tops, V. At work, we have a wall full of muslin. Well, we did. I haven't been there in 4 months. Well, okay. And it's probably still there, V. Or is it for do you do the muslin for your mock-ups? Because that's why I always had muslin before, was for rough copies. Because it's like the cheapest accessible cotton fabric. And then I ended up falling in love with how it feels. So pretty. Oh, right. You worked at Joanne. I'm sorry. I was thinking you meant in the dress alteration upgrade thing, whatever you call. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't remember what you called it. The thing that you do on the side. That's what I was thinking when you said there's muslin on the wall. You mean at the fabric store? Yes, of course. The inside lining of a corset top is muslin as well. Oh, didn't know that. That makes sense. It's a good, firm, sturdy fabric, so I like it. It's just not soft, like you wouldn't want to make clothes with it. That being said, my new dress that I am currently hand sewing, I should have done embroidery on that versus making my logo. I should have just done some floral embroidery on the fabric for that dress. But we're here now. Maybe next week we'll do some embroidery on clothes. But that one's made of cotton muslin, but it's been beaten, like just totally beaten up by washing it a million times. Hi, Jodalyn. That's such a nice name, Jodalyn. Nice to see you. Welcome to the afternoon craft along. I'm a little scared to open the box. They were about $10 a piece. Ooh, MSRP of $68. That's nice. It's usually much more. I sell them for about half the retail price. Well, it's usually worth much more, or it's usually, I don't know. Are you, I hope it's good. I hope it's good is what I'm trying to say. Oh, right. If it's less now, then when you're selling it for half, it's less. Wow, math. Laura, you're great at words. You should be a public speaker with all those words. I refuse to be. No, I haven't had to make a corset in years. I've tried to make a corset many a time when I was young and adventurous. I'm good. I'll just have somebody who like makes them do it if I ever really need one. I don't think it's something that I ever need to make myself. It's just, I would rather make a corset for someone else because I hate fitting things to my own body. It's very stressful because my mannequin is not my size. She's bigger than me in like weird ways. Like she's not like, I can't just take it in, if you know what I mean. All right, moving on to the next letter now. I've got the L done. I'm gonna do the inside, I think a little bit easier, a little bit brighter blue, sorry. Do you make your own eyelets? Ooh, good question. I make my own eyelets in my hand sewn projects, like my hand sewn garments. I like to do that sort of thing. I'm sure you're talking to Whisper though about the corset making. Hooks and eyes. I never purchased any hooks and eyes. That's the only reason I've never used them. I used one time. When I made a dress, it asked for a hook and eye, and my grandma's sewing kit, like her sewing basket, it had like one hook or a million hooks and one eye, something like that. I'm pickling silver. No, that's the right word choice for, I mean, if you meant, no, it makes sense. Like patina, you're doing a patina. Pickling is just another word for it. Yeah, I guess it does sound weird. I would like some pickled. I would make my own. Your own eyelets? I've done eyelets before for corset dresses, like dresses that had a corset just as the way that you do it up because I didn't want to insert a zipper. I actually learned how to do eyelets because of that. I didn't want to insert a zipper. So I figured it out. I thought I was making like buttonholes, and then I found out that if they're not for buttons, it's basically an eyelet. What is that, Frida? Yes, Frida, explain the process of pickling silver. Frida is a jewelry maker, for those of you who are mildly confused. No, I'm taking the copper and dirt off the silver surface. Oh, so you're doing the reverse of what I thought. Cool. So it's going to be even shinier with quite strong, warm citric acid. I have so much citric acid right now. I have so much citric acid and What's the other one we have? Citric acid and ascorbic acid. I have like chemical plant quantities of those two things. When Alex and I were manufacturing our product, we bought huge quantities of these things, thinking that we were going to manufacture all of it at once, and we definitely didn't. And now I have like kilograms and kilograms of ascorbic acid and citric acid. And I don't know what to do with them. Now I know that you can clean silver with citric acid. Can I put like my silver jewelry in citric acid? Will that make it shinier again? Because that's a good use for that citric acid. I'll just clean all of our jewelry for the rest of our lives. Same, Whisper. I'm saving money for like a bunch of your guys' work. I want to get some wool that Sadie dyed for me to practice spinning on more. And then I want to get some yarn from Whisper that's already dyed and ready for me to make like something magical with. And then I want to get some jewelry from Frida because she makes just the most beautiful, unique pieces. And then who else makes stuff that I need to buy from? You guys, when I make money, I'll be coming to you. Buy from artists. There we go. Hold on. Oops. My wallet is screaming, no, I love supporting friends and I love jewelry. Yes, it is a problem. But your ears will appreciate having fancy silver jewelry on them. Made in Sweden. That sounds cool, right? Made in the forests of Sweden. That's very cool. Same, Scrappy. I'm thinking ring would be a perfect thing. Plus, I can call it a business expense when I buy it because I'll wear it in videos. I'm obviously joking, but mildly also. Do you think that would count? You can take off the black copper tarnish, but the white silver oxide will still be there. You take that off with a soft brass brush. My jewelry is not big enough to be brushed off with anything. It's like chains, and I don't have a brass. I do have, I don't know if it's brass. It's brass colored. It's probably brass because copper would be more expensive to make a brush out of, like a scrub brush, right? Can you put a link in the Discord, Frida? Yeah, link your jewelry. We need to have a group in the Discord called like our hustle, and it's like you can post things that you sell there maybe. Like links to your places of business. This is so fun. I love hand embroidery. So relaxing. You just get to repeat it over and over. Over here it would be, hold on, no Laura, lol. What, no Laura what? Oh, oh, the business thing. You don't think so? Well, over here it would be, well, Whisper, in Holland, things aren't real life, apparently. It's just beautiful rainbows and tulips. That's what I've decided. Everybody's smart, and there's horses that walk through towns with no rider, as you've told us, which is weird, but also whimsical. Let me power up the old MacBook to check it out with that link. Sounds good, Crystal. And Frida, thank you. And out of the blue, yes. I mean, it's worth checking out. It is true. It is true. And I will check it out, to be completely honest with you, because when I went to a business class, Scrappy, a business course, I should say, it wasn't one class. When I had this business course for this grant that I got, you had to learn all the things. And I remember feeling like it was almost sketchy, the number of things that you can claim and the way that you can claim them on your taxes. So Like, even though it feels shady, I don't think it's not right. You know what I mean? Like, since I'm a business, they were saying that my commuting to, not commuting, my bus, if I were to bus to Michael's to buy more embroidery floss, I could deduct the gas because Michael's, I'm going there for work. And I was like, well, what if at Michael's, I also stop at PetSmart because, like, I don't know, it's always right next to Michael's. But yeah, apparently you can deduct your gas for trips to pick up supplies, even if it's like at Michael's. So I don't know. The rules seem like they're made for people who like to break rules, if you know what I mean. Like bad people, I feel like they have a really easy time manipulating that system, whereas me, I have this weird guilt where I'm like, I don't want to claim something if it's the wrong thing, but like somebody else is. But I won't because I'm a business that has to get an accountant. That's another thing that I learned from my business class. As soon as you can afford to, for your business, have an accountant because it's a worthwhile investment because it's really stressful to screw up your taxes when you're a business. So accountants first. One of those first fees. Frida, how absolutely stunning it all is, isn't it? I love how bright the silver is in all of her photos too. If your business is involved in embroidery, yes. Well, yes, but I mean like driving to Michael's, you know, I don't know. That might not be as sketchy as some of the ones that they said. They were explaining what you're allowed to do and what you're not, and it felt suspect to me. Was this the needle I was really using? That seems big now that I'm holding it. I'm starting with a new piece of thread, by the way. They're right there. Walk from one to the other. Well, yeah, exactly, Dina. But I mean, like, you know, absolutely you should have an accountant. Yeah, that's pretty much what they explained is one of the first important things to just spend the money on. Laura, that's Photoshop. No, I disagree. Your jewelry is sparkly and beautiful, and it is that way because you made it that way, not because Photoshop. Pff, it's beautiful. Okay, I see the ring I want. Oh, I need to know which one it is because I've been creeping on Frida's website fairly frequently. Kel ring. How you guys liking this so far? I like it. I guess that's mainly important. The other question that I have is when I was drawing out these letters, does the M need to have a straight line underneath here? Or is it just at the tops? Do you see these lines that I'm putting in? Is there supposed to be a line down here? I don't think so. It doesn't look right, but let me know and I can add it if there's supposed to be one. Bike lock ring. Oh, cute. I like that one. Good choice. Bike lock ring. There we go. I don't need an accountant for my personal taxes, but for my business ones, better safe than sorry. Being audited is so inconvenient and irritating. And I've only been audited as a person, not as a business. I can't even imagine getting audited as a business. I would die. There's so many receipts for businesses. But like when it's a personal audit, you don't have to do as much. You just have to send a little bit of receipts. They thought I was lying about my tuition fees. And I'm like, don't you have real criminals to go after? Can't you just Google how much does it cost to go to U Ottawa for an anthropology degree? I feel like you would have gotten my tuition number pretty easily. Like it's not hidden. And I got audited. And it was stupid. It didn't really mean much to me, but it meant that my tax return didn't come as quickly. I'd like to make a more 3D version of those hexagons. I like everything bumblebee. The hexagon bumblebee vibe, that whole honey sort of energy. I like it. I have to go look at the rings again. I'm still just doing the split back stitch in case you were like wondering. I'd like to make a more 3D version. I already read that one. I'm up to date. Barb, I want to see that Slytherin logo. 2 threads filling in the whole serpent. That must be very detailed and pretty. I want to watch the original Harry Potter again, the first one. I haven't watched that in like, I don't know, at least a year or two. For those of you who came in late, don't forget to like the video, by the way. I know I say it a lot, but it actually does help the channel, so if you haven't, just pause for a sec, look down at where the like button is, and click that sucker. If for no other reason than because it's Cinco de Mayo. Oh, Alex! Yeah? We're having tacos for dinner! Yay! Yay. Yeah. Oh, or for because it's my birthday tomorrow. Duh. Yeah. You should like the video because it's my birthday tomorrow. That's a good reason. That's going to be the reason that I'm going to say tomorrow too, though, so merp. The serpent's in Discord. Okay, cool. I shall check in just a sec. Whoa, you do have tiny fingers. 4.5? That's like my pinky. I'm a 7.5 or 7.25. If you can get 7.25, then that's what my accurate size is. But 7.5 is what I usually will have because like my engagement ring is 7.25 because it fits perfectly. There we go. 4.5, that's teeny tiny. I bet my older sister has like 4.5 or 5. She's got like, I say she has like little elven hands. They're just like teeny and delicate, like a little tiny fairy. Crystal, I try to make a range. Some are adjustable. My sister has really small fingers too. There's just a bird sitting outside the window just screaming. I always do a special order. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. My wedding ring is a 5.5. You have teeny fingers too. Do I have giant fingers? Now I'm self-conscious. Somebody else tell me that my fingers aren't too big. I'm so far really liking this. This is looking really cool. I love outlines. I have long fingers. Long, skinny fingers? Send that to me. I have short, fat fingers. I wish I had long, skinny, dainty, feminine fingers. It's something I've genuinely been like self-conscious about my entirety, which is funny that I end up having a job where I film my hands close up. That seems like masochistic. Is that when you hurt yourself, right? I'm an average sized person, but I've always had very unusually skinny long fingers. Well, I'm like an averagely average person and I have fat, short fingers. Alex doesn't seem to mind. I don't think he knows what correct long feminine fingers look like. But at the same time, it hasn't slowed me down, but at the same time too, imagine if I had beautiful hands to go with this. Maybe that's the key. If I can make my hands long and skinny, the channel will explode in a good way, not like literally. The square pink stone is 6.5 and adjustable. Good job on making it adjustable. I personally like rings that are like for sure sized. I don't know why, but whenever they're adjustable, I end up breaking them over time because I adjust them too much because I have a too much gene and then they end up being damaged. Long, you can high five from far away. A long, dainty high five, the two of you. Whisper, I don't have a clue what the Dutch version would be. Are they different? Depending on where you are? Why can't every country just come up with one measuring system for all the things? Why do we have a million sizes for clothing and jewelry? Just make a consistent rule book, people. I think your hands are cute, Laura. Thanks, Lori. I appreciate that. But they're short and stubby too. I think that's average, Lori. 6.5. So yeah, 7 is what they always have at the jewelry store. 6.5 or 7. Like I can squeeze into what they have at the jewelry store when I'm there pretending that I'm buying rings. Or when I'm there trying on wedding bands and just imagining buying a bunch of wedding bands. But I can't fit them comfortably. They're different. I have 4 numbers on my measuring stick. Oh. And Abigail, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Geez Louise, what a variety of sizes. I think that my thumb can fit a 9 because I can wear Alex's ring on my thumb. It kind of falls off though. The middle finger on my right hand is 6.5. Knuckles, that's why. You gotta get it over those bones. Maybe that's why my fingers are short and stubby. I've been cracking my knuckles my whole life. Ooh, that'll be a good warning if I have kids. You'll have short, stubby fingers like me if you crack your knuckles. If you don't crack your knuckles, you'll have long, graceful fingers. No, because that's a lie. My sisters don't have long fingers, and they don't crack their knuckles. Why do some people crack their knuckles and not others? What's the reason that, like, this feels good to me? So why does it feel weird and icky to, like, Alex or my sisters? Any science behind that? My engagement ring doesn't fit anymore, but not by much. It's 16.5. Oh, you guys do it? That makes sense. Doing it in millimeters makes sense. But people, oh, if you do it in millimeters, it's the actual measurement, and we couldn't have that, could we? We have to disguise it, saying, oh no, you are a size 11 or a size 8. These just arbitrary scale of numbers instead of just making it the inches around the waist like men's clothes. Because we're just too sensitive to know our actual waist measurement. So stupid. It's really easy to make it a bit bigger. Probably not fast true. You could always adjust it. But that being said, like I fluctuate in the summer. When Alex and I went to New York one summer, it was so hot. I crack mine and I love it. Okay, good. I'm glad it's not just me because I also do. Arthritis, they swell up. Does that cracking do that? Because I don't want to stop doing it. Shoot, I was about to say something. Sizing the ring. Oh yeah, when I went to New York with Alex one year, it was really hot and my fingers swelled up so much that I had to like put them under ice water to take my rings off because I couldn't like feel my fingers because they were so swollen. So that was before we were engaged, so I don't know how that would have gone with my engagement ring. Probably equally panicking. I feel good when I crack my knuckles. Me too. It's like a good sound. It feels okay. I mean, like, it doesn't feel like good like when you crack your back. It's just kind of like releasing any pressure or tension in my hands. Like if I have tension in my hands in the morning, you know, you can't make a really good strong fist right when you wake up. I have to crack my knuckles in order to have any strength in my hand in the morning. There we go. Look at this. It's coming pretty cool, don't you think? Wow, it took us the whole hour, the whole 2 hours to get through the outlining and the stitch tutorialization. That's not bad though, because now we're pretty much in it. Like tomorrow we're going to be filling in a whole bunch of stuff and getting started on the flowers, and I'm a little irritated that I'm playing thread chicken and I'm going to lose. I'm just going to give up now so that I don't ruin my progress here. And by give up, I mean I'm going to just get a new piece of thread. There are rings that open like bracelets for people with big knuckles. Oh, interesting. Don't do it when Marco's around. He would come running to see if I need to be put together again. It's not Humpty Dumpty. It's I can't find something that rhymes with whisper, but like I was trying to find all the king's horses and all the king's men, you know? I love jewelry and I have gorgeous pieces. I legit haven't worn anything in 2 months. Oh, no fashionability, no style because of the Rona. No reason to wear the fancy jewelry. I literally have a necklace from Alex, a necklace from Alex's mom, a ring from my mom, my engagement ring, and my pearl necklace. Those are pretty much the only things that I like care about. Oh, and my grandmother's bracelets. I don't have like, I'm not like a fancy jewelry person. Mine is just, I like it. It's not actually like, but at the same time, I can't wear regular jewelry because I have an allergy to, I think copper? Is it copper that I'm allergic to? I don't know. I have worn copper like, haven't I? I don't know. I'm allergic to something that goes into mixing metals that I can't wear any, except gold. Unless I leave the house, I don't feel like having things on me a long time. A lot of the time. Oh, you don't like having things on you a long time. I take my ring off when I like shower. I don't know if that's like a thing, but I originally I had this like really paranoid feeling like I was gonna lose it down the drain in the shower. So I started taking it off when I shower, and now I just always do. And if I'm taking a bath, I'll just grab a little bit of baking soda, a piece of tin foil, and some warm water, and I'll put my wedding ring, the tin foil, and no, that's for silver. So that's my silver rings, right? It's tin foil and baking soda and water, and it makes your silver stuff get clean. You can get arthritis from cracking your knuckles. Well, I'm gonna pretend that that's not true because I am not gonna stop cracking my knuckles. Not for a while. Listen, I'm the worst ever. No. Okay, there we go. Oh, I bet they're expensive fiddly hinges and stuff. True. I like the word fiddly. I never take my wedding ring off. It has green wall paint on the underside. It's antique and made in 1910. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Can you post a picture? I love old jewelry. All right, there we go, friends. I finished the outline, and look, it's 5:59 and we got a whole thing done today, you guys. I'm literally on a roll this week. So we've got all the stitches taught, we've got the outline done, we are set up. Oh no, I am. No, Scrappy, I'm sure. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're just being hard on yourself. You're not the worst. You're lovely. Even if it's sarcasm. No need to sarcastically be the worst. You are, in reality, no sarcasm needed, a wonderful lady. As are you all, except for those of you that aren't ladies, in which case you're wonderful whatever you are. If you're men, if you're non-binary, whatever, you're wonderful. I'm just going to say you're all wonderful ladies with no discrimination meant by that. So friends, oh gosh. I'm gonna go now. A jewelry maker near where I live, Nancy says, became very ill as a result of exposure to one of the metals she was using. Not sure what the metal was, copper maybe? Well, no thank you. I'm just gonna not do that for more reasons now. Ooh, Crystal! So awesome. Crystal, you're such an awesome person in general. So fun. It's awesome when people support artists. Augustine, good afternoon. I'm just about to leave, so you came right at the nick of time. Don't forget to like the video before you head out. That goes for everybody. If you could hit the like on your way out, I'd really appreciate it. Come back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time. I'm gonna be back for a chat, and we'll hang out and have our tea in the morning together. So come back, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're gonna spend some time together, and then we'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern to get more work done on our embroidered patch. We're gonna do some satin stitches tomorrow. We're gonna be doing a lot of French knots, to be honest, and probably a couple of those leaves and a couple of those roses. So that's what you're coming in for tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. I love you all. Drink some water. Be nice to the people that you hang out with or that you're stuck with. Wash your hands. You know, all that jazz. All the same stuff we've been saying for how many weeks now? Yes, Crystal, I believe in you. You can do it. You could do it. You could do it. Anyway, friends, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your night, and bye. Oh, right, tomorrow's my birthday. Tomorrow's my birthday. I forgot. Thanks, Nancy. Tomorrow's my birthday. Birthday. So I'll see you tomorrow in the morning for my birthday. Okay, love you. Bye.